Hello and welcome. As you can see, the boats are in full swing, taking everybody to the Orlando parks this morning. Now, something a little bit different for today's video. It's right towards the end of the week. We are Friday. It is 20 to 9 in the morning. I've had early access since 8 o'clock, but I did that throughout the week. And there are some very interesting videos where we're trying to rush the rides first. But I thought it would be quite interesting to try and find exactly what the queue lines are like within the first hour of it opening up to the public. So what I will do is between 9 and 10, all I'm going to do is just walk around, not with you boring you, I'll keep jumping from sort of zone to zone, and we'll just have a look at how quickly the ride time jumps up and compare it to the rides that are open for the early access to the hotels. Because yesterday, that's when I did one of the early ones. I had absolutely no intention of going on anything, and I walked front row straight onto the Velociraptor coaster. So it might just be very much a case of its lucky dip. You saw everybody in the other video running on to the Hagrid's ride. That just looked like that was a straight walk on. I walked straight onto the Velociraptor, came back round, and then it was a 2-hour queue. So we'll see what this does, because if you get there before 9 o'clock, you can't get over to the Hulk, you can't do anything like that. So I couldn't do any of that yesterday. So I just want to see what that looks like. But City Walk, if you've not caught any of the other videos, is absolutely stunning. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump from here now, and we're going to go straight in past the entrance of the park. I'm going to start by the Hulk, because it should give us the times of that where all the rides are, because it will be open by the time I get there, or I'll get there just before they all open. And then, like I said, we'll go zone to zone, check out all the times of the rides, and just see how much it increases within the hour. And we can play a good guessing game and just see who's right between 9 and 10. What do you think the shortest and the longest queue time will be? So start typing away in the comments and let me know. We'll see who gets closer by the end of this video. Right, so we're a little bit further on, just an update. We're about 10 minutes from the park being 9 o'clock for the rides to open. But in case I didn't mention it before, the park does actually open up at 8 o'clock basically for everybody. But unless you've got a hotel key, you can't actually get on the rides. You sort of just sit and hover. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this. I want to see how many people that want to get into the park and run to the ride, obviously their first ride, for 9 o'clock, and how much that differs compared to everybody from the hotel, and just see how much it bottlenecks up within the first hour, or is it worth just waiting for a bit? Well, to answer my own question, it is absolutely ramsacked. So all of these people cannot get in or any of the rides until 9 o'clock, and it is as far as the eye can see all the way down to the bottom. So it'll be very, very interesting if the time gets even longer, or because the park fully opens, what's going to happen and who's going to go where. Right, we are in. I'm going to try and speak a little bit louder because there is copyrighted music in the background. That's why I've always got to do a voiceover, so it will be a voiceover from here. Right, we are away with the voiceover, so we're going all the way back to the start. So like I said, this was just a walk straight through, which is quite surprising because it was before 9 o'clock in the morning with regards to the general public, but it wasn't just a case of you can walk straight through for this. When we see it in a second, Hulk is also running, so I don't actually know what time the park opens up properly to the non-hotel guest members, because it should have been 8 till 9 for the hotels, and then obviously you don't get access to the park until 9 o'clock. But I could just walk straight on there, and this is where the video structure changes ever so slightly, because instead of me just walking around the park and checking out how long each queue line was, I end up going on each ride, or as many rides as I can, and I actually time how long it takes to what it actually says it will take. Now the Hulk says it's 15 minutes at 8:59 in the morning. Now you cannot take a single thing on with you at the Hulk. You've got to go through an airport metal detector, so everything goes into a locker. 15 minutes and 3 seconds, and this is a free locker at the outside of the ride. Slightly different for the Jurassic Park ride now, because you can actually walk around the queue line, film everything, and then you have these lockers on the inside, and you can grab all your bits and pieces as you exit the ride. So that's a very, very clever system. So I think they've realised just how amazing the Hulk queue line actually is, and nobody can take a photo of it, which is a little bit of a shame. So now what we're going to do, we're going to move on and have a look at all of the queue length of everything. So let's have a look at everything. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, obviously because the park is technically opened up a couple of minutes ago. How long a queue line do you think it is for Harry Potter? Wait for it. Nearly 3 hours. Already the Motorbike Adventure is nearly 3 hours long, so that is a crazy time. Everybody from the hotels, that is where you get early access from, because when you come into the park for the hotel access, you turn right, not left like what we've done. Now there is lots and lots of videos available within this playlist, including this land in a much greater detail, and there's a lot more videos still to come as well, because I'm still messing around trying to get all the video files together after loads and loads of problems from this trip, so lots of teething problems with this one. So what we'll end up doing is we'll walk down, have a look at Doom, and then we actually just skip the queue line, go straight through. A lot of the stuff is filmed queue line wise, so we are going to be filming the Doctor Doom queue line, and then we just move on to the next bit, and so on. But if you want to see each area in much greater detail, hunt that down within the Universal/Disney playlist. And also what I have done is, like I said, I had already done, but I don't know if it's been uploaded yet, or it might be by the time you're listening to this video, that there is a early access video as well, and how important it is to use the early access to your advantage, because I ended up going on the Jurassic Park ride 3 times in a row with no queue, and I got on the front row with absolutely no problem, and then I could walk almost straight back onto the Hogwarts as well. So I was very, very lucky with regards to the timing and everything, because I think a lot of people go from one to another. But don't forget, as the park starts to open up to the general public, it looks like everybody also runs to the Hogwarts Express and the massive train ride as well. So it's a massive motorbike adventure, and it is a really, really good ride. And to be honest, if you can walk up to the castle and the queue is about to go into the castle, it is no problem whatsoever. If you're queuing outside and it's all snaking around the outside, then it's going to be a long queue and it's going to be a long wait. But from the castle onwards, as you walk into the building, it is all really, really heavily themed, and it does not feel like it takes as long as what it does. Now you can see with this, we are shooting around nice and simple. It actually takes a minute or so longer, because I think all of us got sent to the wrong ride that wasn't going, so then we end up coming back and going on to the other one. So you'll see that in a second. I think what we should have done is turn left, but we got told to turn right, and the doors were closed on that one, so we ended up coming back and then walking to the other one, and that was all done within like 5 minutes. So that is not too bad at all. But what we will do is we will keep up with the time of what the actual current time is, and we walk around the park, and also racing against what they say is the correct time. So you can see we're about to turn right, and I think we probably should have turned left. We just wait here only for a minute or so, and then we get straight on the ride. Jobs are good with that, and then we move on to the next thing. But the theming for this thing is beautiful as well, and we will have a look at some of the theming on the outside, and actually have a look at the ride working from the outside as well. It does go some, so you get a really nice view of the park. But that took all of 4 minutes and 53 seconds. That's the queue line and me getting my bits and pieces back, and then you know, getting the restraints down and everything. The actual theming from this area is really, really smart, and I do believe I pick up some bits and pieces that I did not pick up last time. So all of this was filmed, but this bit wasn't, I don't think. So we have a look at all of the different bits of the security. So if you are a big fan of Spider-Man and everything like that, let us know what you think of this, because the Spider-Man ride is to come next, and I do believe Kingpin's hidden around somewhere. And then when we pan around, we also have a look at the huge Wolverine that is chilling out. But we do go into all of these shops. There's some massive toy shops, some big clothing shops and everything like that. They are all in individual uploads and the full land tours as well. That is what I've just been on. Now this is more of a blast off than a fall, because you shoot from the bottom up to the top, whereas some in Dubai and other countries, they go from the top and then they do just drop you back down again. So depending on where you are in the world, you will have different bits and pieces to explore and have a bit of fun with. But you can see what that Wolverine looks like. He looks really, really cool. Now again, I had no intention of doing the Spider-Man, because normally this thing has an absolutely monstrous wait. So this could be anything up to hour and a half, 2 hours, and did not take long whatsoever. So right, fine, get on that. I think this was the first time I got on this. Might have been the second time, and I might have regretted doing it the second time, so I forgot the first time, because it is a massive motion simulator. It's one of those where you've got your 3D glasses on, and I much prefer the roller coasters. But time is on. For the sake of this video, I think I do it again, and we just end up walking around the massive Daily Bugle. The queue line for this is absolutely stunning. Now, this must be the second time I've done it, because I filmed this queue line with people waiting in front of me, and I got all of the details of all of the office desks and everything like that. So that is a video that is also available if you want to see this in a greater detail, because you do end up seeing all of the videos and things like that of all of the comic annotations and just everything. So there's lots and lots of different bits and pieces going on this, and there's lots of little hidden information on all the computers, as you can see. So if you are stuck in one of the queues, the queue lines are very, very well done at the Universal parks, just like they are at the Disney parks as well. But I think, for some reason, I think the queue lines win at Universal. But if you have been following the channel for a while, I think the theming at some of the Dubai lands as well, they were outstanding, especially the John Wick Hotel, because that was brand new build. That thing was also up there. So there's some very, very good queue lines to explore. So it just makes the wait time just that little bit less painful when you can start soaking in all the different bits and pieces and you have a connection to anything. But we are right by the ride now, so I think we're about to spin around, grab our 3D glasses, and then we will then see how long it takes in total, and then we'll move on to the next section of the park. So I'm trying to think what is to come up next. We've got the cartoon section. I think then what we do is we manage to get on Kong, and then from Kong we actually go somewhere else, but we will be catching up with myself in a minute. Now that is 8:28 that took, and I think I have a look in a second. So 8:28 in total, and that's obviously from walking through the door, and it's already up to a 25-minute wait, so it does not take long to get going. So you've got to keep your eye on the time as well, because as more and more people start coming in, obviously people are going to be literally, they run and sprint to the first ride that they want to get on. Once that one's been ticked off, I think people start to calm down. But we are 9:47 in the morning, and we are 3 rides down, so that is not too bad whatsoever. All of this has been filmed, big shop in there. We've got the nice Punisher t-shirt and all the Marvel bits and pieces, loads and loads of toys and accessories and things in there. That is in a completely separate video, and you can see all of the other bits and characters and everything around the outside. Now there is loads of meets and greets for everybody, so you have all of the X-Men come shooting down. Also you have MODOK up at the top just there, and then they will come in and you can get your photo and everything taken with those, and that is the end of the superhero section. And then we're about to move into the next section of the park. Now the next section of the park has probably the wettest ride you'll ever get on in history. There is absolutely no chance that you will stay dry on that, but that section of the park was actually closed, so that bit we couldn't get on, luckily, because I would not have done it, because I did it at one point in the week. That got drenched as well. Had a bit of a nightmare with the weather, because when all the other videos get uploaded, you'll see that it started to pour down on one day, I got drenched on another, and then I think I ended up getting a load of stains over one of my hoodies, hence why I'm wearing a Jurassic Park hoodie, because I never buy myself anything, but I had actually ran out of clothes, so I'd ran out of warm hoodies. That's why I'm walking around in the Jurassic Park top, because I had nothing else to put on, and the other bits and pieces were drying out, and I actually ended up having to wash one of them in the shower with shower gel, because the water from the ride stank. I got so wet and it was so damp. But that is for your enjoyment in another video, so if you want to hunt that one down, that is available somewhere, me looking like a drowned rat. Now moving on to Kong, everybody's getting waved on, so I'm not too sure if that just opened, but game is on again, so the first second is ticking over. This queue is enormous. It's one of those that if you catch this at the wrong time and you end up having to go left here, you know that you're in for a very, very long wait. But this one, it was all right, it wasn't too bad. Now I have heard rumours that Kong might be closing down. I don't know if that is true. If you are a local and you've accidentally stumbled on this, or you are from the future, let us know if it's still there, because obviously I'm not a local whatsoever. I would love to go back again, but yes, this is how dark the queue line is. It's a little bit brighter in places, and it is really, really, it's got so much detail hidden within it. But if you are waiting for a long, long time and you're scared of the dark, you've got to be careful with this one, because you could get caught out in a very, very dark part of the queue line, or other bits aren't too bad whatsoever. So it is what it is with that, so you've just got to sort of take it with a pinch of salt. If you are a little bit scared but you are going with somebody, obviously hold on to them tight, but then in a second it brightens straight back up again, and there are sort of fire effects and everything like that, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But lengthwise, that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to do. It took 22 minutes and 34 seconds, and we do have a look at a second of just how long it should be, and by the time we leave, it was absolutely massive. So I think some of these rides end up being sort of 70, 90, 120 minutes in length by the time I've actually escaped. But you can see the detail now of this amazing bit of Kong, and now I'm going to catch up with myself, and I've got to remember what I said. Right, so we are back at the splash hidey hole. This is just a perfect place to speak to the camera because the music's not copyrighted and it's not too loud, but we will wait for that to come down. So that'll be the next one that I'm going on. So the time currently, I had none of this planned. I love it how these videos happen. It is 20 past 10 in the morning. So everything that I've gone on so far has either been spot on or a minute or two over, but Kong is now at 35 minutes. So I did walk around to the front of that. So Kong is at 35, and I think it said 10. I think it said 10 minutes when I first got on. So what we'll do is we're going to walk around. We will go to the log flume, see what the wait time is on that. I'll get that done, and then I will do the Velociraptor coaster because there's no way I'm going to do the Harry Potter one. It just takes too long. Right, back into a voiceover. So all of this has been done in a separate video, and that's already been uploaded with the amazing Jurassic Park shop as well. So if you're a Jurassic Park fan, this land is perfect for you. And if you are watching from the Lego side of things, lots of Lego models have been made of this, and you have got the visitor centre. That is where I stood right beside. And yes, that log flume is what I got wet on. If you sit in the wrong bit, you get drenched. So it's lucky dip of where you get wet, but luckily I did have my coat with me, and I think that's what I'm about to say to the camera now. There's literally no queue whatsoever, but I did say I might have to stop to put my jacket on, so I had to take a little bit of time away, and to be honest, it was fine. I just managed to get it on very, very quickly. I'm glad I had that white jacket with me, otherwise, because I've made the schoolboy error, I got wet on this. It's the morning and I'm wearing a brand new hoodie, and I've just said to you that the other two are still drying off, and it was expected to rain much later on again today. I did not want to get caught out and get wet, but there are a couple of videos coming, or depending again when you're watching this, already uploaded, of just how bad the weather can get in Florida when it catches you out. And when I'm walking around City Walk, I get absolutely drenched, but it's all part and parcel, and it is what it is. And it was such an amazing week. I can't highly recommend it enough to any of you. I did the Universal side of it rather than the Disney. I just went to the Disney park once. I'm very, very tempted to go back and reverse it and actually stay at the Disney accommodation and then try and get back over to the Legoland park and then just do Islands of Adventure once. But here we go. We are 10:37 in the morning, and we are about to head down to the next ride, which is the Velociraptor coaster. Now, this is the one that I have been on multiple times, and I don't think the wait was too long, and you move ridiculously quick in the queue line as well. So it's with this one, I almost think it's better not going on the single rider. One, because you see more of the queue line, and you do move a little bit faster, because if you are just by yourself in the non-single queue line, they will just pair you up with somebody from the single queue line, rather than you just being stood there for ages if there's loads of ones and twos and twos and twos and twos. But this thing, amazing. It's the fastest, currently the fastest launch coaster in the world, and it is outstanding. Front row on this is something I am never ever going to forget. I'm sure you'll be able to find footage online of just what this ride is like. It does say it's a 45-minute wait, so we walk down. There is a full detailed video of the queue line of this available. It is stunning. They have put in so much effort and detail. You've got all of the Velociraptors in there, loads and loads of animatronics sort of moving around in their cages. It's a very, very special thing. And like I said, you've got the locker on the inside, so obviously you cannot take anything on the roller coaster with you. So how one or two people have actually managed to get permission to film on this, that's a different story. So I don't know if you are allowed to film in it, but you just have to have like a GoPro attachment, so it's never going to come off. But I'm not taking that risk. Look at the size of a little bit of that track. There's loads and loads of places around this park where you can sit down and look at this thing tearing around. It is the smoothest roller coaster I have ever been on as well, because it was pretty much brand new. But look, there's things really, really high to the left-hand side. It's about to come shooting down, and then just passes, and we will catch that again as we walk back. But I walked all the way down, so I just wanted to see where the queue line was in comparison to the actual 45-minute length. I think it's 45 minutes, and it's just on the outer edge. I don't know if they can extend the queue anymore, but the queue does move very, very quickly. So this is almost as busy as what it's going to get, bearing in mind it's the time. You've got the people waiting in there from the hotels, and the park has just opened, and it is currently, I think I set the stopwatch to go on it, and I decided against it because it is still 45 minutes. So I didn't bother going on that in the end. I just spun round and left because I know how good the queue is. Now there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more of the ride, and now we've skipped underneath over the bridge, and now we are in where it's closed, heading into the Harry Potter section. And then I think that is basically it. So we just skip a little bit this land because this land is always busy. This is probably the most continuous busy part of the park because there are so many Harry Potter fans. But it's a shame that the Hogwarts Express at the moment wasn't working, and the importance of that is that it saves your legs and you can actually use the train to go from one side to the other and get into the second part. But look how amazing that looks. And I did do the early access video and we walked around this when it was completely empty. So we've got all of that to look forward to, so keep your eyes peeled for future videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for obviously future updates as well, because it is a very, very special place, just like this ride as well. Like I said, I went on this a good few times, and it's completely different depending on if you sit on the bike or the side cart. But guys, I'm about to catch back up with myself and we're about to head back out. This was the last bit of the park that I did. We finished having a look at the live action just here, and there was a show that was actually running over the Christmas period for these guys, and I did sit down and watch the show, and that was amazing as well. But I can't remember what I'm about to say. Hopefully I've not bored you too much with this voiceover, and we'll catch back up with myself, and I look forward to future videos. And that is that. What a morning that has been. That was not planned or expected to do that, but I have just obviously left. I'm heading back to the hotel now, so I thought I'd fill you in on some more of the wait times. I did try and actually film the list of all the bits and pieces that they had on there, but it wasn't coming through clearly enough because the sun was directly on the board, so it was obviously a black board with white writing. So we did all of those rides back to back, and the Doom drop tower, or launch blast off should I say, that is now at, I think it was 75-minute wait for that. Hulk had gone up massively, everything else had gone up massively. So if you think we did all of those rides quicker than now what you could get on the blast off, and I walked straight on that about an hour and a half ago. So the rest that were on that list, Kong wasn't working. Hagrid's we saw, I think that was about 1:30 when I left. That would be the one that if you had your park ticket, you'll go straight on. The Velociraptor had gone up a little bit, but it always hovers around that time. But all of the Marvel bits and pieces, I'd never seen it that high or weak. So I think everybody's coming in and going left rather than coming in and going right. So I guess the decision that you've got to make is, do you do it how I did it and do them all back to back when you first come in, and then just queue up? And then just queue up for the Hagrid's one and the two big ones that you want to do? Or do you want to get the big ones out of the way with a slightly smaller queue, but then with the amount of time that it adds on? I think it makes a very big difference which way you walk around the park, because if you were to do the big ones first, by the time you've done both of those back to back, especially if you join the queue for Hagrid's when we saw it at just say the nearly 2 hour mark, you would then get off. Kong had doubled or tripled in time before it got delayed, and then just going by Doom, that's obviously been up to 75 minutes, when that was just a complete walk on, because it is so busy around the Hulk area, because everybody's obviously going around and everybody's just following each other around. But because there's people at one end of the park now and one at the other, it's almost worth you maybe going straight to the middle if you can, and then just picking a sort of a land that it is that you want to do. But I was very lucky with that, with regards just to coming in. Like I said, I had no actually intention of going on the rides. I just wanted to see and film the time, but I thought actually, well, it might make it a bit more interesting. But did you get your timings right? Don't forget, if you did write them down before we started, I want to see them in the comments below, what you thought it would be and how long it actually took me to get on. But it was just amazing, like with Kong for example, when I got back off, I think I got on that at the 10-minute mark. It didn't take that long. Got back off and that had gone up to 35 minutes. And then it just seemed to be everywhere that we're going. They did the same thing with the Spider-Man. Spider-Man said it was 5, I think it took 8 and a bit, but when we got off, the queue was then up to 25, because there's just floods and floods of people coming in, and obviously everybody following each other around. Now, because I would have done the Jurassic Park one, absolutely would have waited 40 minutes for that, because it's just worth waiting for that, because that queue moves so fast. But because I can come and go as I please to the park, now it's starting to get a little bit busy. I just go back in there about 2 o'clock, let the crowds die down a little bit. The parks are open till 7, but what I will do is the video that will follow this one will be the one from Universal Studios, and then we'll just do the sort of same thing and just do it as a bit of a test, just over sort of a 2.5–3 hour period later on in the evening. Obviously we'll have all the Christmas lights and everything on show, because it won't be beautiful weather like it is now. This is actually one of the maybe the hottest days it's been after the horrible storm that we had yesterday, so it probably would have been a great idea to go to Volcano Bay today, but never mind. But what I will do is I'm going to head back to my accommodation now, so I'm going to leave you guys and girls to it, but hopefully you found that slightly helpful and useful and you just enjoy playing along with the game. You think, just recapping what actually went on, just think I went on 4 full rides, queue line and the actual ride length, in under an hour, and Doom was one of those, and it is longer than that now, so definitely worth getting in for the opening hours if you can. Obviously it's very dependent on the season as well, because I'm very lucky with where I am now. I always do this and never tell people the date. It is Friday the 16th of December when this video was filmed. It's never going to be up in 2022. It'll probably be up in 2023, but the year currently is 2022. I filmed so many videos from here. It's just going to take ages to get them all uploaded, but there will be a full playlist available. But I went from the Hulk straight into the Spider-Man, into Kong, onto the log flume. Got absolutely drenched on that as well. Luckily I had my waterproof jacket with me, so that's fine. And then obviously did a couple of the little ones as well. So yeah, it's a nice successful morning. So I'm now almost back to the hotel. I want to grab a quick bite to eat. I want to do this full city walk video. I want to figure out exactly where all the paths and everything go, and just sort of enjoy the sunshine, and then head back into the park a little bit later on this evening, and we'll redo this video in the other park and just see how successful it is, and just compare the two. But let us know which way you would have done it. Let us know what you have been on. Let me know what you thought of the times and everything else like that. I think I was just very lucky, to be honest. It's been a very good week to come. The children haven't yet broken up, and I think they do that this weekend, so I think as of now it's going to get very busy again. But guys, like I said, hopefully it's helpful, hopefully it's been enjoyable and entertaining. But if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and until the next one. Ta-da.